First off, welcome. For you that I don't know, I'm Stuart Goodrill, the Chief Operations Officer for the system. But more importantly, I've had the pleasure of working with Sean for the last 4+ years. So that's always a pleasant task to have somebody that you have a lot of confidence in, and certainly the organization does. You know, I think the measure of any man is what kind of impact you have, man, woman, but in a leadership role, you always want to leave something better than what you found. And I think today, as you hear the accomplishments and things that have happened under Sean's leadership, he truly left the organization better than what he found it. If you look at our engagement scores, our satisfaction scores, our increase in capital spend, the positive impact we've had in market share, that they've all been under his leadership and guidance. But I think the biggest impact he's had, if you ever got to know him, you can truly call him a friend. So at this point in time, I'm going to turn it over to Bill, but thanks to each of you for coming today, and Sean, thanks for being a friend.
Stuart. So I have the task of identifying just a handful of accomplishments. So I was the president of the community hospitals. In September of this 2015, I had a chance to talk with Stuart about the opportunity to take on more of an operations role. And what Sean and I have talked about, there's a reason I said yes to that opportunity. It was not only to serve in a senior operating executive capacity here at Holmes and to also provide some coverage for the community hospitals. It was a chance to work closely with Sean. If it hadn't been for Sean, I was not likely to say yes to that opportunity. So it's very important that you all know that the choice that I made was largely driven because of the relationship I have with Sean. Secondly, I know that Sean he would think that I'm remiss to not actually cover some of the things that were most significant to him in his time with Health First over the course of the last 4 years. So Stuart already mentioned it as it relates to time, and the time that people spend in our hospital. Under Sean's leadership and with his colleagues in this organization, patients are getting home now much sooner than they were 4 years ago. A full day. And for those of us who have been patients in a hospital, it's very important to us to not spend time with our friends in the hospital in a hospital bed, but to be home with our family. Time is important to us. We want to get home to be with our families. In that time over 4 years, also Sean has changed the culture. There's a mixed bag of some things that were going on in the organization over the course of 4 years ago as it related to medical staff relations in this community, as it related to the associate engagement in this organization. And I'm proud to say that over the course of the last 4 years, Sean and his leadership, working with our physician leaders, many of our administrative leaders, and all of you, has been able to change the culture. There's not a day that goes by that there's not more smiles on people's faces, and when you create a good culture in an organization like this, it drives better results. People get home sooner, better patient experience, better clinical outcomes. It's good for us. And because 8 out of 10 of every resident that lives in Brevard County receives services here within Health First, that makes a difference for me, for you, for our friends, for our family, the people we love most, right? So I'm very proud of the work that Sean has done over the course of the last 4 years as it specifically relates to the accomplishments. But lastly, and most importantly, because Sean is a very humble man, this is not comfortable for Sean today. Just so you all know this.
Does that mean I get a beer or I get something?
So it's for Sean, and I'm not going to speak for him because in the end he's going to have an opportunity. It's less about the accomplishments, it's more about what Stuart said. A mark of a person is the engagement, it's the collegiality, it's the things that you create with the people that you care about most. Sean has a knack for finding a way to bring out the best in good people, and that's what he's done over the course of the last 4 years. So what I'm going to invite everyone to do today is one thing. We have what's called a memory box here. And it's been engraved with his initials, and it's been engraved with a little something that we wanted to say on behalf of Holmes Regional Medical Center and Health First. I'm going to invite everyone to share memory. And this is why it's important. Sean will need those continuous reminders of the mark he's left on Health First, and with each and every one of you. Chances are when he goes to Peace Health up in Vancouver, Washington, not every day is going to be the best day, right? There are going to be days when he's going to be feeling pressures and he's going to be feeling as though he needs to be surrounded by his friends from Health First. It is an opportunity with a memory box like this for him to open the box on that particular day and pull out a card or a piece of paper that shares a very nice note about the experiences that we were able to have together. So I would invite all of you to take the time, if you haven't already done that today before you leave, to please do that. With that said, I want to say thank you to Sean for your 4 years, thank you for your friendship, and thank you for being a great neighbor.
I'm not even going to try. So for those of you that might not know me, my name is Barb Seymour. I'm the VP of Nursing here at Holmes Regional. I've had the pleasure of working with Sean for the last 2 years and was very privileged to join this team. I kind of wondered when I came here, when Sean made the offer for me to join this team, what he was thinking. And in fact, a couple of other people that were around me thought, this is kind of a crazy opportunity, but I have been very blessed to be a part of this team and to learn from Sean over the last 2 years. One of the things that I heard from the nursing leaders and the nursing staff overwhelmingly when Sean announced his resignation and his transfer to Washington State was how much he had done for nursing, how much he had empowered nursing leaders to do what needed to be done to take care of patients and provide the best care and the best environment that we possibly could for our community and for our staff. So we wanted to do something special for Sean today. We would like to make you an honorary member of the Holmes Regional Nursing staff. So we have a few
So it's
things-
finally
So there are a few traditions that nurses hold in high regard when we graduate from our programs. We get a cap, we get a pin, and we recite the Nightingale Pledge. So we would like to give you a nursing pin. We would like for you to wear a nursing pin. Looks good. Looks good.
I don't have any hair for it. I think that was going to be short-lived.
And if all the nurses in the room would join me as we have Sean recite the Nightingale Pledge, so repeat after me, please. I solemnly pledge myself before God. And in the presence of this assembly. To pass my life in purity and to practice my profession faithfully. And to practice my profession faithfully. I will abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous. And will not take or knowingly administer any harmful drug. I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession. And will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping and all family affairs coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling. With loyalty will I endeavor to aid the physician in his work and devote myself to the welfare of those committed to my care. So we'll have a picture of you with the nurses after we're done to put in your frame. And finally, you need a badge. Just
Do I need to put this on then?
sure you do.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Rob Spivey, I'm the trauma program manager.
So I want to fly a helicopter now, man.
You spoiled the surprise.
I'm the trauma program manager, and much like Barb and Bill affirmed, we've been fortunate enough to work with Sean for the last 4 years. And I know personally he's been a strong mentor for me in guiding how I should do things and the right way to present myself and how to bring passionate care and think about the culture of the organization as a team, family-centered place to work. Sean's servant leadership was always and still is, a positive action and a symbol of merciful care. So we thought we would give Sean a symbol of what we think is action and kind of servant merciful care. So we give him a picture of a helicopter signed by many of us, just as a reminder of where he came from with us and how much he's impacted our lives and affected us. And it's not quite flying a helicopter, but it comes pretty darn close.
Thank you for inviting me to speak at this great opportunity to send Sean off to his next job, where I'm sure he will be as successful and as impressive as he was here. I had a wonderful time working with Sean, and I had one of the things about it is that I felt that I got to represent physicians directly to him. And Sean was always extremely interested in what physicians had to do and what they had to say. Whenever physicians come to the administrative office, usually not with, compliments, it's usually something that's motivating them. Sean could always be counted on to take the hardest bite. Says, this is the toughest problem, I'll deal with that. He was a great mentor, even though he's a couple of years older than my oldest child. He's actually a couple of years younger than my oldest child. Well, she hasn't aged in the last 2 years, so it was really great working with Sean, and he always knew that there were two sides to every story. Stuart has a saying about that I always thought was very true, and Sean lived that you don't hear the whole story until you hear both sides. And Sean was really had a big impact on physician relationships to each other, to the nursing staff, and to the administration, and to the public we serve. So I think he was highly successful. The other thing he personally was greatly involved in was in improving the type of cookie that we ate around here. It was always a big interest of his, and he even baked some of those cookies in some sort of bogus contest that he rigged to win.
I lost.
That's great. So thank you for everything. We're going to miss you terribly.
Before Sean shares some remarks on his behalf, we'd like those of you that would like to express openly some thoughts or maybe some memories. This could also be a perfect opportunity to roast Sean a little bit. So we'd like to open it up to anybody who would like to come up and join us and just share some thoughts.
I ain't afraid.
We've got a brave soul.
Thank you, sir. Let me put the lipstick on this place. All right? I appreciate it. All right? Thank you.
I want to say thank you for the mother-baby unit. Sean's got a lot of boots on the ground. Like, he came to see us, and he wasn't in an ivory tower somewhere. So even during the hurricane, when the patients wanted to go home, but we hadn't got the all clear, can we go, can we not go? Here came Sean pushing the coffee and the candy right up to the unit. And he left, and the patients were like, can we go home? He said, go home. I said, stop that candy man. I chased him down, and he gave us the all clear. So I really appreciate how you were there for us, and you were there with us, not separated somewhere far away. Made work here a lot better and helped our patients have a much better experience. Staff and patients, I think you impacted us all. Thank you.
Come on up, Vicki. Come on.
With some of
It's
my
better to have you up
teams,
here. Come
go
on up.
with
Come on up.
On behalf of your
I want to be an
rehab
OT
team,
just so I can compete with my
you
wife.
got it. We just want to say thank you so much for your presence and support of our department. You've taught us to be collaborators and that everything we did was a positive impact on our patients and community. Just watch your posture, okay? I won't be there. All right?
So there is a story behind that.
But I know Donnie wanted to come here. Go ahead, Donnie. This is your opportunity. Donnie doesn't talk, so take this.
Well, I said thank you, Sean, for the support of Patients St. Hamlin. Guys, you've been inspired to me. You have help move patients a lot more efficiently. So I want to say thank you very much for that.
Hey man, what you guys are doing for our patients is pretty cool.
Thank you, then.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Very
you.
much appreciated.
I just wanted to say thanks to Sean for his leadership here, but I don't know if a lot of you know this, he also has a family in the community, and our kids go to school together. He sits on the board for the school. He's done a lot of outreach to the community, so I want to thank you for that part of your service to Brevard County too. Appreciate it.
So Sean, when I was at Cape, I got a call from Sean about renting stand-up paddle boards in Cocoa Beach, and I said he wanted to do something special for his wife. I think it was your anniversary, correct? So I said, no problem, I have some paddle boards at my house, come on over. He came over with his wife on a Saturday or Sunday morning, had them all set up. Was talking to his wife how cool it is to launch a ramp road in Cocoa Beach. You'll see porpoises, otters, and the last thing I said was gators. And his wife kind of turned around and gave him that look, and he said it would be okay. And then after that, we arranged breakfast at a really nice breakfast restaurant in Cocoa Beach called Simply Delicious. And came back and had a really good time. That was hopefully my intro to Sean to get wet, saltwater wet. A couple of years later, I hear he's charging all the giant waves down at Patrick Air Force Base, just going out in anything. And now I hope he stays wet on the Oregon River, Columbia River? What is that?
Columbia River.
Columbia River out there, which is a world-class sailboard place because of the high winds, the gorge, and the river actually makes waves for him to surf on while he's landlocked. Final thing, when I transitioned from Cape to here, I've never felt more comfortable, more welcomed by a management team, and Sean and Bill were part of that, so I want to thank you for that.
Sean has been a tremendous leader. I'm actually a contractor here, but I never felt that. I always felt welcome. Plant operations team, Sean has been engaged with us since probably day one. In fact, he came there this morning at 7 o'clock during our huddle and just for his last hurrah with our shop. These
No, I
guys-
said thank you for making me look good, because I get the credit for all the work you guys do.
He has been a tremendous inspiration to myself and our team, and always supported us through everything. I remember one time when I think it was probably a few months after I got here, we had a plumbing issue in SICU. Sean was doing his roundings in his scrub. I invited him in the room to come see what we found in the wall. More than willing, he come in there and seen the ugly mess. I don't want to elaborate on what it was, but Sean's always been there, and he's an idol. Yeah. Congratulations, and thank you for your leadership.
Marcia Phillips, Volunteer Services. And I just want to say, 4 years ago you came, you talked to us about everyone being one team, and that we had one focus, the primary focus of the patients. But you say things, but you walk the talk. Because when you talk to us about us all having an opinion, all of us having a voice, all of us making decisions, when we first heard it, I thought, okay, yeah, we'll see how that works out. But you were really being honest about where you stood. You brought our volunteers as to be integrated as part of the team, and gave them a voice too, recognizing that they had a lot to contribute. So we want to thank you on behalf of the volunteers and the rest of our team, but also on behalf of our patients, because you really created a whole different kind of culture that's benefiting our community.
So now that we've made Sean feel extremely uncomfortable getting all of that adoration, let's hear from him himself.
So I'm not going to talk about me, because you guys are sick of hearing about me, but I do want to say thanks. It has been 4 years of fun, of some good stories, and I'm glad that nobody took it too hard on me during this, and some tears. I really do feel like our hospital is a better place today for patients than it was, and probably for us to work in, than it was 4 years ago. And one of the things that I noticed when I got here was we very quickly tried to figure out whose fault things were. And we kind of were quick to find it. When something went wrong, it was always who versus why and what. And I feel like we do a much better job now of really trying to find when bad stuff happens, or when good stuff happens, why it happened and how we can make sure it either doesn't happen or happens again. And as much as it's been flattering to hear all the positive accolades and feedback, it really doesn't matter if the stuff that you guys talked about doesn't continue. And I would just challenge all of you to make sure that what you like about this hospital you make better tomorrow than it was yesterday. And I think that's the journey that I've tried to be on with you for the last 4 years. And you've got great people. It's Mark Rosenblum and I were talking earlier today about, when I got here, I remember Steve and Stuart and some of the physicians telling me about how the hardest part of the job was going to be working with the doctors, and everything else was going to be, we were okay. And guys, I think you got great physicians. I think for me that was one of the most fun parts of the job, was really helping the physicians and the staff become one team and not be us against them. I know we still have our issues, and it's certainly not perfect. But I would encourage you, the more you seek to understand those with a different opinion versus try and figure out who's right, who's smarter, or who's whatever, the more you can help patients and the more you'll enjoy your job. And I just say thank you for helping me enjoy my job. And I was not expecting this many people to be here. Public speaking is definitely not one of my strengths or one of the things that I enjoy. Certainly talking about myself. So thank you. What you've said to me, what you've shared means a lot. And Bill's right. So just one thing I did share with Bill is the hospital, so I'm going to work at a couple hospitals. One of them just lost a union vote. So their employees just decided that the union can help them more than their management. So I will be needing that box a lot. So hopefully you're like sincere things. And I hope that in a few years we can make a positive difference there, just like I feel like we've made here. And really, guys, I appreciate your patience sometimes when, often I'm quick to make a decision, but not always the most thought out. I think many of you helped make sure that our decisions were maybe more thoughtful than they would have been otherwise. So thanks for your courage and speaking up to me when I might have been taking us down the wrong path. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully this isn't goodbye, just a different chapter. Thank you very much for everything.